In the past several years, guaranteed income programs offering cash assistance to people has sprung up across the country. New Yorkers for Children has provided direct cash assistance to young people aging out of foster care and enrolled in college for over a decade. And student success outcomes have been remarkable. Here now to share more details, we've got the executive director of New Yorkers for Children, Alan Yu. And Alan, glad to have you with us, and thanks for sharing.
Hi, Darren. Thank you so much for having me today.
Glad to have you, and glad to talk about this. And so, as we look at those who are aging out of the foster care system, there are certain challenges that come with that. And so, for our viewers, can you make us more aware as to what are some of the potential challenges for those who are aging out of foster care?
So, youth that are aging out of foster care have unique challenges. They do not have the same support networks and social safety nets as those of their peers. And so, what we see is that even minor financial setbacks can be deeply disruptive to their careers and to their pursuit of higher education. And so, in addition to the financial barriers that they face, they also have unique academic challenges. Um, they face increased mental health pressures, and these are all contributing factors to barriers as they're aging out.
And when we talk about these barriers, your agency does a great job of really dealing and trying to navigate people who've experienced the barriers. What programs do you have in place to help with that?
So we are in a unique position of being in a hybrid role, both as a direct service provider and an intermediary. So on the intermediary side, we operate as the thought leader in the city's child welfare space, bringing together local partners to create a supportive ecosystem of services. For example, through our post permanency support program, which creates stability for adoptive and kin gap families, and is implemented through three other local organizations. In addition, on the other side, we have our direct service programs such as NIC Scholars, the Emergency Grants Program, or Back to School Program. And these programs provide financial and material support and wraparound services, including mental health counseling, academic coaching, peer mentoring, to really support um, youth aging out of foster care.
You talk about cash assistance being available for those who are coming out of foster care, direct cash assistance. Why is it so important to have direct cash assistance for them?
So, given the lack of social safety nets and the uh, the the potential of these financial setbacks to derail youth in their academic and professional careers, we find that direct cash assistance is the best way to address these financial setbacks so that they do not derail their pursuit of their careers in higher education. And so, giving youth agency by providing them with cash to decide how to best allocate their resources depending on their specific needs, whether it's housing or paying an overdue medical bill, or paying for just basic necessities like food, is really critical to supporting them in their journey.
You talked about autonomy, and basically, when you do have this cash assistance, what you're saying is, listen, you take the money and you do with it what you want to do. So a lot of people may say, and critics say, this may not be such a good thing. But why are you in favor of autonomy for your recipients?
So we really believe that respect is a key component in dealing with individuals who have experienced multiple overlapping traumas, both on the individual and systemic levels. And in our own findings and in other guaranteed basic income programs across the country, there has been uh, su- great success in the utilization of these funds to meet basic needs. And it is very rare that there are instances where the programs are abused. So we see that many of the fears that critics have about these programs are really unfounded.
Yeah. Alan, share with us, as we know right now, we're just getting back to some sense of what we used to do. It's still a far way away, but COVID has tremendously impacted our lives in a way that we will be talking about for some time. But when we look at the youth and those who are aging out of the foster care system, how has COVID really impacted them and also the work that you do? Because when we talk about 2, 3 years, you're aging out, and 2 or 3 years, doors were closed.
Yeah, so the transitions are already difficult for any youth in the college system, but particularly over the course of the pandemic, what we've seen from the fundamental shift in the educational delivery model from in person to remote to hybrid back to in person. These are challenging ways for youth to navigate receiving their education. And what we see with our foster youth is that these already precarious transitions are exacerbated by the mental health crisis that arose during the pandemic and from being isolated from their peers, again, not having adequate networks and safety nets. And so we see that extra support is really needed to help this population.
Yeah. Alan, before we leave, I want to have an opportunity for you to share a little bit about the work that goes on for New Yorkers for Children, people who may not be so familiar with your organization. Can you just give us a little brief insight?
Yeah, so our organization was founded in 1996, and we work to improve the well being of youth and families connected to the child welfare system with a specific focus on youth aging out of foster care. And we do this in a hybrid model, both as a provider of direct services through our programs like direct cash assistance, qualified counseling, peer mentoring, career development, academic coaching, and other supportive wraparound services. And the other side of what we do is act as an intermediary to fund innovative programs throughout the city through our subgrantees.
Well, Alan, I want to thank you so much for joining us and the work that's being done. Of course, it's something we'll continue to follow with this direct cash assistance and all the work that's going on, particularly for New Yorkers for Children. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Daren.
All righty. Well, we want our viewers to know for more information, you can visit their website at newyorkersforchildren.org and follow them on Facebook and Instagram at New Yorkers for Children. We say don't go anywhere. We've got more open coming up right after this.